Manchester City 5, Fulham 1, and that was another convincing win for the champions. I mean, I'm going to go through basically all of the 3 p.m. kickoffs today because it was actually quite frantic. All the games kicking off at the same time, to be fair. Of course, the highlight one I was going to watch was Man City win a title race with Man City. It doesn't seem that way right now because Man City have once again gone flawless. 4 wins out of 4 in a row to start a season. And look, they look damn near unstoppable right now, Manchester City. I mean, who's going to stop them? Today, there's a lot to talk about in all the matches. You could talk about the Man City game. We could talk about obviously the game that was happening across the grounds at Stamford Bridge, at Burnley. Lots of football matches kicking off at the same time today. But the standout one for me, of course, was Man City and what was happening there. Let's talk, of course, about the second Manchester City goal. I think it's a topic of hot debate. So anyone that missed it, Man City's second goal, Nathan Ake scored it, right? It was a corner whipped in by Phil Foden on the stroke of halftime. He heads it. Akanji is in offside position. It's clear as day offside, at least half a yard offside. Offside position. He jumps over the ball. The ball goes into the back of net. This is a stroke of halftime. The goal counts for now, then goes to VAR. Everyone is expecting to be ruled offside. Even Mike Dean in the Sky Sports studio saying, no worries, it's going to get ruled offside. He's interfering with play. But the goal stands. How can this run? This is, look, I'm obviously not going to say corrupt officiating, but you got to sit there and go, where's the consistency? This is inept officiating. That's how I would class it. Now, some might say, oh, but he didn't block Leno's eye line. He didn't block Leno's eye line. I don't think he did. Akanji was not in the way of Leno. He saw the shot all the way. The problem is there's plenty of angles from behind the goal where Ake's headed it. Akanji is standing in an offside position. The ball is going in the path of Akanji. Akanji has to jump out of the way to miss the football. Leno has stuttered and basically not committed all the way in case Akanji taps it across him, the ball goes the other side. Leno's looking at Ake's headering the ball. He doesn't know that Akanji's offside. He can't account for Manuel Akanji being offside. All he can account for is the ball going towards Akanji and waiting to see if Akanji redirects the ball somewhere else. There's plenty of angles from behind the goal where Ake heads it. Akanji's there. Leno stops for a second, literally for a split second, stops to see if Akanji touches it or not. Akanji obviously dummies it, lets the ball through his legs, and then by that time, Leno can't get across the ball and stop the ball from going into the back of the net. That's how it is. And it counts the goal for no reason. There is no way on this planet that should be a goal in my eyes. Absolutely no way. Like inept officiating. Once again, officials do not know what they're doing in the Premier League. And it's clear as day because in the Sky Sports studio, they've got Mike Dean, who was a former referee, right? Only retired last season. And he's in there. He's in that studio saying, you know what? It's not a goal. I don't think that's a goal. Michael Dawson, a former defender who was commentating on the game in Sky Sports, goes, yeah, it's not a goal either. Both of them saying it's not a goal, but on the field, it's given as a goal. Mike Oliver gives it as a goal, and VAR there gives it as a goal. So the referees themselves can't agree. That, for me, was the most clear and obvious offside you'll ever see in the whole wide world. And it's just another case of inept officiating once again in the Premier League. And it's the thing that really irritates me, right? Because when VAR got introduced into the Premier League, we all thought it'd be the end of talking about referees, talking about awful decisions, and we can actually start focusing on football again. But it's been the complete opposite. There's been more and more discussions about decisions and about officiating since VAR has been introduced. Because VAR isn't the problem, guys. A lot of people say, oh, VAR this, VAR that, this is the problem. VAR isn't a problem. VAR is technology. Technology is not wrong. It is maths. It is objectively true or false. It is black or white. It is ones and zeros. There's nothing wrong with the technology. What the technology has done, what VAR is doing right now and has been doing for the past couple of seasons, is exposing how bad the referees are. Because in the past, referees could make a bad mistake, but you'll just say, oh, it's one of those things where they didn't quite see it. The angle they looked at it was a bit wrong, so you gave them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. Now with video assistant refereeing, the technology behind it, they can get as many angles as they want. They can take as much time as they want. If they want it slow, if they want it fast, they've got all the angles. It's on a plate for them to make the decision, and they still make the wrong decision. For me, that's not allowed. That should not be the case. You saw them mess up a few weeks ago when during the Manchester United and Wolves match, first game of the season, was a blatant penalty for Wolves, not given when Onana took out the defender. Now, once again, another mess up. Referees making mistakes week in, week out. And all that happens is they get obviously banned for the week after. A little slap on the wrist. When are they going to start actually importing referees from other countries? When are they going to start stand up and saying this refereeing is not good enough in this country. For the best league in the world, the best managers, the best players, the most competitive league in the world, everyone comes to watch the Premier League. It's got the most viewing numbers out of any football league in the world. But the refereeing is not up to scratch. It's not up to par. There's no other league in the world where referees are talked about as much as the Premier League. Now, look, I know Man City won this game 5-1, and many will say that it did not change the outcome of this match. It was only 2-1 at that stage. Fair. Man City will probably still going to go on to win this football match. But don't give them any more of an incentive to do so, man. Don't give them any more of a free sample, a leg up in doing so. Let Man City earn their 3 points here today, because I thought Man City in that first half were terrible. By their standards, absolutely horrible. Obviously, they were going in 1-1, and 1-1 wouldn't have been terrible for them. They still had 45 minutes to turn it around. And by the way, Man City were much better in that second half. But everyone knows scoring just before halftime is a game changer. Scoring just before halftime, it reshapes everything around the team. Everyone, of course, gets a reset. It changes the manager conversations in the dressing room at halftime. So you always want to score before halftime. It's always a good time to score. And I feel like, to be honest, that Man City, when they made it 2 at halftime, it knocked the stuffing out of Fulham, because they knew themselves it was a bad decision. Probably Man City knew themselves as well it was a bad decision. But then by then, the complexion of the match changed. Fulham's heads were gone, and Man City went on to win that game 5-1. Haaland scored a hat-trick, convincingly so. They go back to the top of the Premier League, the only team in the Premier League with a flawless run, 4 wins out of 4 to start the season. Let's get into some of your comments. And of course, we'll be talking about the other games that happened at 3 p.m. today. Excited for the game today? What, Brighton, Newcastle? Yeah, will be a good game, I do believe. 2 very good teams. As for Chelsea, I've genuinely had enough of this lot. Nothing has changed. Yeah, Chelsea losing 1-0 to Nottingham Forest. Now, I'm not going to say that I watched the whole Chelsea game. I had the Sky Sports Soccer Saturday on, and I was flicking in between the Tottenham game, Chelsea game, and Man City game on my computer. Chelsea, once again, look void of ideas. Void of ideas. Obviously, Nottingham Forest had a very tough run to start the season. They've gone away to Arsenal. They've obviously gone away to, who were they at last week? Manchester United. And now they've gone away to Chelsea as well. Not an easy run, but they've come away with 3 points here today. So I'll be absolutely delighted with that. Nottingham Forest. Chelsea once more, man. I said against Luton Town. Luton Town was a good game for Chelsea because it was meant to be a springboard for them, in my opinion. A springboard where you start the season not great, but you get your 3 points against Luton Town, then you build upon it going into your next few games. But again today, they ran into a roadblock, Chelsea. Not good enough at all. No creativity. I don't understand the lineup that Pochettino is picking. Now, I'm not one to disagree with Pochettino. I understand that he's a fantastic manager. He's proved it throughout his time at Tottenham Hotspur. But once again, I've looked at the lineup that he selected today, and it's too negative. Enzo Fernandez, Gallagher, and Caicedo in midfield. That is not a team you should be selecting, in my opinion. You brought in so many attacking players. Now, whether you want to start Mudryk, whether you want to start Madueke, whether you want to start Maatsen, whether you want to start Cole Palmer, I don't mind. But surely there should be more attacking players on that football pitch because they're void of all ideas. Fernandez looked the most creative player on the football pitch. And how should that make sense? Because Fernandez by trade is a box-to-box midfielder. Fernandez is not a creative midfielder. That's not his game. Enzo Fernandez has brought in to be the transition player from defense to attack. So when he's looking at your most creative player, when you got Sterling on the pitch, when you got Jackson on the pitch, etc., Gallagher on the pitch, it's not a good sign for me. So why are Chelsea persisting with this back 5 formation? Why Chelsea not got enough attacking players on the pitch? I do not know. But something clearly needs to change there because this should have been a banker. This should have been the most nailed-on 3 points, as well as Luton, that you're going to get all season. The Luton game was meant to be the springboard for Chelsea. You beat Luton and you build upon it going into your next games. But that Luton game seems like a one-off right now. As for people saying Man City won 5-1, people need to realize that if we call out the referee's bad performance, it's not just about this game. We're talking about just the decision itself. 100%. 100% here, CU1 as well. And look, I know they won 5-1, and many will say that even if it was 1-1 going into the second half, Man City would probably still win the game. Yes, but momentum changed. At 2-1 to Man City, momentum changed. Fulham's heads drops, and anything can happen in football. Anything can happen. So I do think that it's a weak argument to go, oh, Man City would have won the game anyway. Yes, they probably would have won the game anyway, but it's not. That doesn't mean that you should excuse the bad decision. And I've had other Man City fans on Twitter talk about, oh, but look at this decision. Last season, do you remember Manchester United versus Man City when Rashford was offside, but they gave the goal? 2 wrongs does not make a right. Just because there was a bad decision today doesn't mean that you should be bringing up, oh, look at this bad decision we had last season. If anything, this is just exemplifying how bad the refereeing is in this country. Because you're just showing bad decision after bad decision. One bad decision should not mask over another bad decision. It's not 2 wrongs make a right. Every single bad decision there is, it should be highlighted. And look, your referees at the end of the day, I understand it's a tough job, I do, but you've got VAR right now, man. Like, you've literally got every single angle you could want. You've got a fast motion, a slow motion. Whatever you ask for, there's an angle for it. You're literally been given the whole incident on loop as many times as you want to make the right call, and you're still not making the right decision. At least in the past, I would give the referees, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, because look, they might have had the wrong angle. If you look at their angle, they might not have collided the play at the same time. They might have made the wrong decision. They might not have seen this. I understand it's all happening in fast motion. They're looking at 11 different players on each team on the football pitch. I understand it. But now with VAR, there's no excuses. VAR was brought in to get rid of all this talk in the post-match conferences, get rid of all this kind of like fugazi about whether refereeing are really that bad or not, and just take all that away. VAR was meant to simplify football and take all the bad decisions away. But all it's done is made football worse and worse in terms of refereeing decisions, because it is just exposed the inadequacies and the incompetencies of the referees in this country. And for me, it's a wake-up call once again. Every week, someone's getting cost 3 points. Like I said, look, regardless of the decision or not, I still did expect Man City to win this football match. But you can't just sit here and go, oh, you know what, Man City were going to win anyway, so it's not the end of the world. No, because it's a bad decision. So we should be able to call these bad decisions out. And I do believe that once again today, bad decision from the referee. Very bad decision. If a decision doesn't affect the game, it might affect the next game. Next week, we can have Liverpool getting denied a win because the ref makes a bad call on the ref's bad decision. Exactly. And look, here's the thing. I can tell you for a fact, this is not the first bad decision this season. And I'll tell you for an absolute fact, it's not going to be the last bad decision this season. Every week, there's going to be one absolute criminal decision. Every week, I guarantee it, in the Premier League. And it'll cost teams points. Like I said, I was here streaming on this channel after Manchester United versus Wolves, the first game of the season for both those clubs, where in the last dying embers, a game that Wolves were doing so well in and deserved at least a point from, Onana clatters into the Wolves player and the ref doesn't give a penalty. And after contemplating VAR, the officials back there, they didn't give a penalty either. When it was a stonewall penalty, I was screaming during the game, has to be a penalty. I was there celebrating. I was like, yeah, they're going to give a penalty, man. 100%, it's a penalty. But once again, I did not account for the incompetencies of the referees within this country. Every single weekend, there will be a bad decision. And I don't mean the 50-50 decisions, because it is what it is sometimes. There's ones where you can debate, is it going to be a penalty, is it not a penalty? Is it offside, is it not offside? You can have those debates. You can have those grey areas, because football in itself, the rules sometimes, I do believe, are not concrete. They are sometimes a little bit black and white. They're not exactly what they should be, the rules in football. But there are certain decisions where you guys can believe me and trust me when I say this, that are stonewall. Every single person, bar a few biased people, will agree that the right decision or wrong decision was made. There's certain decisions like that. And once again today, Akanji is interfering with play. You might say he's not in the eye line of the goalkeeper. I agree he's not. But that's not the only way you can interfere with play. There's plenty of angles from behind the goal where Leno is standing here with his gloves out. He's watching Ake take the shot. Ake heads it. It goes across in the line of Akanji. Leno doesn't know that Akanji's offside. How can he know that Akanji's offside? He's focusing on the play at hand. He's focusing on Ake headering it. The ball goes across to Akanji. All he knows is Akanji's there ready to shoot. He starts to shift over to that side of the goal. He hesitates and stutters for a second because he's waiting for Akanji to make contact on the football. Akanji does not make contact on the football, jumps over the ball. But by then, when Leno does then react to that and try to make the save, he's inches from getting the football, and he said misses it, and it goes into the back end net. If he doesn't stutter at that moment when he sees the ball go into Akanji, I promise you he makes that save. I promise you. It's that little split-second stutter, the little margins, the fine margins in football that dictate whether the goalkeeper saves it or not. So Akanji interfered with the play. He was offside and he forced Leno to adapt what he was doing. Therefore, he is offside. Mike Dean, a former referee who retired last season in the Sky Sports studio, said definitively it was offside. He didn't say, oh, it's up for debate. He said, this is offside. Michael Dawson, or was it Craig Dawson? I can't remember. Whatever then, I think it's Michael Dawson, who was in the studio commentating on the game in Sky Sports, reporting on it, said definitively it is offside. It was unanimously offside. But the only people that disagree is referee on the pitch, Michael Oliver. But look, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because obviously he's not seen all of it and Lionel didn't put his flag up. And the other person that disagreed with it is the people in the VAR hub, the two referees there. Both those two people could not bang together two brain cells and come to the conclusion that the rest of the football world had, that it was offside. They had the same angles we had. They had the same replays we had. They've apparently got the competencies that we don't have because I haven't got the refereeing license that those guys have. Yet they've come to the wrong decision and I've come to the right decision. And that is objectively the right decision as well. Not subjectively. Objectively, that was offside. But look, it's one of those things. It's going to cost teams, man. It's going to cost teams week in, week out. And obviously I'm an Arsenal fan, so I wanted Fulham to win this game. I'll be saying it. I'll be lying if I said it. I didn't. But I remember last season, right, when Manchester United beat Man City 2-1. I wanted Man United to win that game. And I said, even so, after that match reaction, that was criminal because that should have been offside. When Rashford and Bruno, I think it was Rashford interfering with play. He was clearly interfering with play. So, look, I don't care whether I support Arsenal, Man City, Fulham, or any other club on planet Earth. Objectively, everyone should unanimously agree that that was offside. That's the way it was, man. Also, what do you think of the Premier League added a system where refs explain VAR decisions to the crowd and even the VAR ref conversations are into the stadium and on TV? Yeah, like the NBA and NFL do, right? Miking up the referees. I'm a massive fan of miking up the referees. I think they did it did they do it in the Women's World Cup? I didn't watch the Women's World Cup, but I saw the highlights of the final and the referee came up and spoke to the crowd. I've got no problem with that whatsoever. Look, I've been in the ground before. I don't really like going to football stadiums anymore because with VAR, it's criminal. You don't know what's happening. You're literally you sit there and you go VAR decision. You get no replays. You're just sitting there like a lemon in the stadium waiting for something to happen. So I don't really like going to football grounds anymore. I've been in the past plenty of times, obviously. I had a season ticket at Arsenal for 4 seasons. So in the ground, you've got no clue what goes on. At least on TV, we see the replays. We see what's going on. We see all the different angles. We hear the conversation that the commentators are saying. And obviously Sky Sports or BT Sport, whoever commentates in the game, TNT Sports, sorry, they obviously have a line. They can hear what's happening in the VAR hub. So they can relay that information onto the viewers at home. But in the stadium, you don't have a clue what's going on. So I've said this before. I'm a massive fan of miking up the referees. Now, referees having conversations or post-match conferences, I don't think should happen purely because the referees know that post-match conferences, they're just going to get grilled. It's just going to be a grill fest. And I don't want them to go through that. But what they should do is they should explain the decisions in real time. Be mic'd up and say, penalty for this, offside for this. Not just yep, penalty, yep, offside, yep, not offside, that's onside. Because, bro, we're all at a loss. No one understands what's going on sometimes. Manley, appreciate your stream, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Have you heard the rumors about Partey? Yeah, out for 3 months. If it's true, he could be sidelined for 3 months. If he is, man. Are we surprised? This is the 4th or 5th season Arsenal had Partey right now. You thought it was going to... Did you think he was going to go the whole season not injured? Of course he was going to get injured at some point, man. I don't mind, man. It's one of those things. I'm not losing sleep over it. If Partey's injured, man. It's one of those things. I hope it's a bloody lie or Arsenal is screwed. We're not screwed, man. Don't. It's game 4, man. We're not screwed. Partey injured or Partey not injured. We're not screwed, man. Come on. It's only match week 4. Trust me. This season's a marathon. Man City today had no Jack Grealish, obviously no Kevin De Bruyne. They started that new guy, Jeremy Doku, who I'm a massive fan of, by the way. Count Doku, I call him. Obviously, they started Phil Foden as well. I thought had a decent game. Alvarez was starting. Man City were missing Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, Jack Grealish. Obviously, they've got no Gundogan. They've sold him already, etc. They're still fine. No one's complaining over that club. We've lost Thomas Partey, Gabriel Jesus, Yuri Timber, and also fans think it's the end of the world. Bro, relax, man. It's calm. It's a marathon, man. This is why you got squad depth. Yes, I think its transfer window wasn't the greatest. Now, we'll be doing a video, by the way, guys, in the very near future, basically doing a tier list for every single club's transfer window. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you're new around here. Hit the notification button. Also, I am streaming on Twitch. Let me create a message in the chat. So feel free to follow me on Twitch. YFootball on Twitch is in the link. I don't think it's a link in the description, but it will be the links on my channel. So I'm streaming on Twitch the same time I stream on YouTube. So feel free to check me out over there. But yeah, look, I'll be releasing a tier list video for every club's transfer business, every Premier League club's transfer business this summer in the very, very near future. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But yeah, Arsenal, we're not screwed, man. It's match week 4. Don't stress. This ain't the time to throw our toys out the pram. We're good, man. We're good. Yeah, they did that in the Women's World Cup. There we go. There we go. Streaming on Twitch. Check me out on Twitch, guys. But yeah, what about the other game? Tottenham 5, Burnley 2. Or I should say Burnley 2, Tottenham 5. Ange's cooking at Tottenham, guys. Ange is cooking at Tottenham Hotspur, man. They were good. I don't want to smile, obviously, because I'm an Arsenal fan. You can see the badge on my chest. But Tottenham are good, man. High key. Spurs are really good. And the thing about Ange, I said this from before. I said this from the very first game he managed. I really like Ange Postecoglou. Not only do I like the football he plays, because I think Tottenham have been crying out for a manager that plays forward-thinking, progressive football. I really like his personality. He's a really likable and personable guy. Even in his conferences after, he's got a real humbleness, but at the same time, a real air of confidence and aura about him. I think he's got really good. I think that's a really good trait to have as a manager. For example, he got asked by TNT Sports after the game against Bournemouth, saying, "Oh, the fullback's going into midfield, and it looks like they've been playing like that for years, even though they've only been training there for a couple months or a month or so." And he goes, to be honest, mate, I've just been copying Pep. Do you know what I mean? That little bit of tongue in cheek, that aura of that humbleness, but at the same time being very like, what's the word? Like joking, but very confident in your own abilities. I think Postecoglou has that in abundance. So I'm a massive, massive fan of this manager. Genuinely, Spurs fans, I've got a few. Obviously, I live in North London, so I'm surrounded by Arsenal and Spurs fans. I've grown up in North London and lived here my whole life. They're loving life under Ange Postecoglou, and rightfully so. They are playing absolutely amazing. Madison's done brilliant for them. Son today on the score sheet's got a hat-trick. They moved him through the middle, and they put Manuel Solomon out wide. So, look, everything's going well for Tottenham Hotspur. I can't wait till we face it at the Emirates and we put them in their place, to be honest. But for now, Spurs doing really, really well. I think if you told every single Spurs fan that, having played Manchester United, Brentford, Burnley away, they've had 3 away games and 1 home game, by the way. They've gone to Burnley away, they've gone to Brentford away, played Man United at home, and Bournemouth away. To get 10 points out of 12 is a very, very good return. I think every single Spurs fan on planet Earth would have shaken your hand and taken that. So they've done absolutely fantastic. The football's back under Postecoglou. The fans are chanting they've got their Spurs back. Everything's coming up trumps for them. They've just signed Brennan Johnson as well, so they're making the signings despite the fact they're at the top of their game. Really good for Tottenham. Arsenal, on the other hand, right? We did our business early. We started to hit a little bit of form in the season. We then drew to Fulham, and we didn't get any business to supplement that. It's always beneficial to sign a player on deadline day. Trust me, guys. Whether or not the players are start for you, signing a player on deadline day gives that little bit of confidence at the end of the race, that like second win that you need to go towards the end of the season. We've not made a signing since David Raya 3 weeks ago. We needed a signing on deadline day just to give us that little bit of confidence to head into the final, to head into the next 3-4 months of the season before, of course, we had the January transfer window. But look, that's neither here nor there. It's one of those things. Maddison has helped big time, 100%. We should have got him instead of Kai. Been saying that as well. Maddison's a fantastic player, man. I've been saying that for time. I don't know why we messed about with Kai Havertz is beyond me, man. He's absolutely criminal footballer, absolutely criminal. I'm glad Rob Holding is gone 100%, man. Rob Holding had to leave. And it's a thing about Rob Holding, right? So I remember like three or 4 weeks ago, right? Besiktas bid 2.5 million for Rob Holding and also declined it. And I said, look, what are you hoping for? 5 or 6 million? It's Rob Holding. Take your 2.5 million and run. Well, what happened? On deadline day, we sold him to Palace for 2.5 million. And like 1 million on add-ons. Boo-hoo. You could have sold him 4 weeks earlier to Besiktas for the same amount of money and shipped him abroad. Instead, you sold him to another Premier League club. Now, I'm not saying Rob Holding is going to turn up any trees at Crystal Palace, but I'd rather sell him to Besiktas than Crystal Palace. Let's be real about it. You would have got the same money. You would have saved 4 weeks worth of wages and you would have got him off the books. And you could have used that money earlier to sign someone else and spent more of your effort selling other players. So once again, incompetencies. I made a video on Rob Holding on this channel. Guys, I make videos. So everything I say, there's receipts of it. I'm not lying. I said in that same video where Besiktas were linked to Rob Holding, I said, just sell him. It's 2.5 million. I know you're hoping for 5 or 6, but sell him. I don't trust Edu to get any more money for Rob Holding. Lo and behold, we get to deadline day and we sell him for the same amount of money. What was the point of selling him for less? Like, what was the point of waiting 4 weeks if you got the same amount of money? One of those things. Cedric is still here, yeah. Cedric is going to ride this bandwagon to the end of time, it seems. That's how it is with Cedric Suarez, man. This Donny is not leaving whatsoever. But yeah, so Spurs are doing well. Chelsea look like they're falling off a cliff, to be honest. I think Pochettino's got a lot to fix around there. And Man City, once again, win a football match. In other words, water is wet. Man City winning 5-1. And look, this is the thing, right? Because obviously Arsenal played Fulham last week and obviously Man City played Fulham this week. It's a clear comparison. Clear comparison. I know Fulham were missing João Paulinho today after his collapse move to Bayern Munich, who, in my opinion, is Fulham's best player. But it is, let's be real, a clear comparison. You got the Arsenal last week, the Man City this week. Man City won that football match 5-1. Arsenal drew 2-2. Does that not show night and day that Man City are going to win this Premier League, man? They obviously I'm going to cover. There's so much to talk about in terms of the transfer deals that have obviously affected Man City and Arsenal this season and what they're going to do. But I do have to say at the same time, right, that Arsenal, Man City, like for like, I feel like before the season started, our squads were on a par. We made the right signings. I don't believe City had made enough signings. As the season started, we've dropped points to Fulham. We've had an easier running than Liverpool, Tottenham, and Man City already dropped points, right? And we haven't made any signings since the start of the season, apart from David Raya, who's a backup goalkeeper anyway. So it's not like it's really changed our whole squad. Man City, since the season started, has signed Doku and have signed Mateus Nunes, who are two fantastic players. Do you get what I mean? Blame tactics from Mikel. Yeah, there's the thing about Mikel Arteta, right? He keeps experimenting. Yes, this man is very arrogant. He had a press conference yesterday before the Man United game, right? And his brother's talking about, the guy said, he asked a simple question that every single Arsenal fan is thinking. Are you going to revert back to your back to your team from last season? Arteta goes, I can't play the team from last season. Xhaka isn't here. Zinchenko's injured. Brother, you know what the guy's asking, man. Are you going to play a back four or Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, and Ramsdale in goal? That's what he's asking. Every single person in the room knows that's what the brother's asking. Why are you being pedantic and saying, I can't play the team from last season. Xhaka's gone. It's a new season. I have to try different things. What do you mean it's a new season? You have to try different things. What you're saying is you spent 65 million on Havertz and you haven't got the balls to drop him because that was the player you spent 65 million pounds on. That's what you're saying. And then the guy asked him, what formation you started with this Partey right back? Are you going to change your formation? Now Arteta goes, we played 34 different formations. What do you mean played 34 different formations, man? It's something like geeks have overtaken football now. It's actually a geek sport. It's no more of this. I'm not asking for the 4-4-2 Brexit football. I'm not asking for that. But this is actually a game for geeks now. Man's about 34 different formations, bro. There's not even 34 different formations on FIFA. And they're talking about 34 different formations on the football pitch. This guy Arteta, man, he's got a lot to fix up, I'm telling you. Look, I understand that he's done a brilliant job at Arsenal. I agree 100%. I love what Arteta's doing. But the man is being arrogant. He's not done anything for me to deserve this arrogance. Pep Guardiola has got that ego and arrogance to him, but not to the level that Arteta showed in that press conference yesterday. And Pep Guardiola could rightfully have it. Guardiola's won the Premier League multiple times, the Champions League. He's won the FA Cup as well multiple times, the Carabao Cup as well, won the Super Cup, won trophies at Barcelona, etc. Guardiola, if there's any manager on planet Earth, he deserves to have that arrogance. Mikel Arteta has not done anything of note. He's won an FA Cup, great. So did Arsene Wenger. I don't care about an FA Cup. He's won 2 Community Shields. It's a one-off game. I'm not exactly going to be bawling my eyes out, delighted that we've won the Community Shield. Arteta has won an FA Cup and 2 Community Shields. Yet in that press conference yesterday, he's talking like he's just won the treble. He's got the arrogance about him. And then he starts talking about, he takes different routes to work because of the icy roads and about the school run. What's this guy on about, man? He's lost the plot sometimes. Like, Mikel Arteta needs to fix up because he's coming to this new season with an air of arrogance. I can't be the only one that sees it. I can't be the only one because last season, I loved everything Mikel did. I loved his passion. I loved the way he talked. He was so humble, down to earth. But this season, I don't know what's happened to Arteta, but he's coming with arrogance now. And it's not warranted. You've not done anything to warrant this arrogance, Mikel Arteta. I love what you've done, and I'm not Arteta out. Don't mistake what I'm saying here by believing I'm Arteta out. I'm not Arteta out. But he needs to fix up this arrogance because he's not won anything of note to deserve this arrogance. And he's going to bite him in the butt. There was some clear and obvious good questions from the journalists yesterday in the conference room. And I'm very critical of journalists sometimes for asking the wrong questions. They asked the right questions, but Arteta's spinning them. He's being pedantic, saying, we had this formations. I can't play the team from last year. Xhaka's gone by Leverkusen. Brother, just stop being awkward. Answer the questions. Then he starts going on this 2-minute rant about how the Arsenal fans need to get behind Kai Havertz. Excuse me. Every single Arsenal fan is behind Kai Havertz. But we're also going to be honest. If he's playing crap, we're going to say he's playing crap. Kai Havertz has not lived up to £65 million so far. James Maddison for £45 million, 2/3 of Kai Havertz's price tag, has been tearing up trees at Tottenham Hotspur. So we have the right to say what we want to say about any of these football clubs. Sorry, about any of these players at the football club. No one's abusing Havertz. I've not come out here and abused Havertz once. I don't justify that. I don't condone that one bit. But if I don't think that Havertz has lived up to the performances that I expect of him so far, I will say it. Yes, it's only been 3 games. You could say he's got time to adapt. Fine. But it's not like he's come from the Brazilian league or Bundesliga. He's come from the Premier League to the Premier League. He's come from Chelsea to Arsenal. He was crap at Chelsea. I called him out saying he was crap at Chelsea. And he's come to Arsenal. And lo and behold, he's been crap as well. You might say he's been good in parts. He's been good in flashes. I would have much rather Granit Xhaka than Kai Havertz. That's for an absolute fact. Say what you want. That's just my thoughts. I hope he doesn't start Havertz tomorrow. We don't have time for that 100%, man. Does Havertz seriously have to play at the weekend with Partey potentially injured? I hope not, man. If this guy plays Havertz, I swear to God, man. I'd rather play Jorginho and Rice in midfield than play Havertz. I swear. Arsenal will sack him if he doesn't deliver. Probably, probably. Wenger left and he's one of the most successful managers. He's annoying me. This is the thing, right? If Arteta doesn't win a trophy this season, I think he could go. He genuinely could go. Because look, right? Arteta's done fantastic. I 100% agree. But look at Ange Postecoglou. He's been at Tottenham for 4 games and he's already got them playing like cooking. Now they're playing really good football after 4 games. they're almost top of the league after 4 games. Arteta took 3 years to actually get Arsenal to play good football. 3 years, man. So Arteta's done really well, but Arteta isn't the top manager that people think he is. I'm telling you, he's not, man. Top managers win. There's winners and there's good managers. It's just like being good and world class. World class is being good consistently. There's elite managers and there's good managers. Mikel Arteta right now is a good manager. Anyone that's telling you he's elite, they're lying, bro. And Mikel Arteta is not an elite manager. An elite manager wins trophies. An elite manager would have won the Premier League with Arsenal last season. Make no mistake about it. An elite manager would have done so. We had a more than big enough gap. More than big enough. We were clear as day ready to win that Premier League last season in the start of April. And within 1.5 months, we folded and capitulated. An elite manager does not do that. I'm not Arteta out. Make no mistake about it. In me saying all these things about Arteta, I am not Arteta out one bit. But he has to look at himself in the mirror because an elite manager would have won the Premier League last season. Man City went on an unbelievable run. Make no mistake about it. They're the best team in Europe by a country mile. I saw the way they demolished Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. That team is cooking. They're unbelievable. But we had an 8-point gap. That is 2.5 games gap heading into basically the last 2 months of the season. And we folded and bottled it. And that is not good enough in my eyes. Jeff, appreciate your stream, by the way. Havertz really not contributing anything. I agree. I watched the Chelsea Forest match. I enjoyed that. Yeah, Forest played absolutely fantastic, man. Really, really good performance from them. Really good. Stayed into the game. And also for Forest, it's been a really tough start for them. They've obviously been playing Arsenal away. They've obviously played Manchester United away. In the meantime, they played Sheffield United at home. They got good 3 points there. So Forest getting 6 points out of 12. I think Cooper will be delighted with that, especially given their run to start the season. Ruhama, appreciate your stream, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Arsenal, yeah, I know, man. I know. Well, we got a big game tomorrow. I will be streaming after Arsenal versus Manchester United tomorrow on this channel. So make sure you subscribe and turn on bell notifications so you do not miss it. My Arsenal versus Manchester United preview will be coming out later today for channel members only. So make sure you become a channel member. It's the first link in the description, and you'll be able to get access to all my preview matches for Arsenal games this season. My Arsenal versus Manchester United preview will be coming out slightly later today. But yeah, the other game going on late today as well. It's just started. It's 10 minutes in. It's Brighton versus Newcastle. That'll be a very good game, actually. Let me check out the score on that one so far. It is 0-0 between Brighton and Newcastle United. That'll be a really good game. Two clubs, I believe, will be fighting for those European spots. Newcastle needs to get some points after their disappointing loss to Liverpool. That was a crazy loss to Liverpool last weekend. But yeah, look, the Premier League already started to settle into how I expect it would settle into. Man City top of the table. Man City most likely going to win the Premier League. And like I said, I'm going to be producing a video on everyone's transfer business. I'm ranking all the clubs' transfer business this summer because there is a lot to talk about with that regard. But I will say 100% that there are some things that Arsenal failed to address in this transfer window that just finished that I said might bite us in the butt. And once again, are Arsenal fans confident we're going to win the Premier League? Because we made a good jump last season. I do agree. We didn't expect to fight for the title. 100% agree with that. But we made a good jump last season. And now we've made another jump this season. I do believe in terms of personnel we brought in. Now, whether that equates to us winning the title or not, I'm not too sure. But we have to win bloody something. I don't care if it's a Champions League or Premier League. I want to win one of those trophies this season. I don't think we're going to win them because I don't think we're good enough to win them. I don't think we've got the mentality to win them. But I bloody hell hope we do. And the game against Manchester United tomorrow is massive. Absolutely massive. We have to win that game because we're already 2 points behind Man City, even if we win tomorrow. Even if we win, we're 2 points behind Man City. God forbid we draw or lose, we're already more than a game behind Man City in terms of points on the table. And last season, we were 8 points ahead of Man City and still bottled the title. Imagine already starting the season behind on points to Man City. It's not ideal because that club are relentless. Once again today, they were crap in the first half, yet they still won that game 5-1. We were crap in the first half against Fulham, yet drew 2-2. That's the difference. Man City can be crap for 45 minutes. Man City can be crap for 80 minutes. But they'll still find a way to win that football match. They have that gene of just winning, getting the result above all. We don't really have that at Arsenal Football Club. So there's a lot to change in that respect. But look, it's one of those things, man. Hopefully in time it will come. But I'm not very confident we're going to win the title this season, especially after that Fulham game. Because that Fulham game highlighted a lot of weaknesses for me. It's a long season, of course, and anything can happen. But I do think that I am slightly worried as what I've seen so far from Arsenal Football Club, especially given that in both the games we won as well, it was tight. Forest, only a 2-1 win, narrow victory. Against Palace away, fair enough, we grind that out, 1-0 victory. And against Fulham, at 2-1 up, down to 10 men, you can't draw that game, man. You can't draw or lose that football match. You have to close out that victory, and we failed to do so. So that's very worrying on my behalf anyway, watching what Arsenal have done. But look, it's still early days. Anything can happen. I do obviously hope that Arsenal do bounce back and try and beat Man United tomorrow. It'll be a massive game. I'll be streaming after on this channel. Can't wait for it. But there is a lot that Arsenal do need to address. Make no mistake about it. But yeah, I'm going to start to wrap up this stream here today. Man City have beaten Fulham 5-1. In other games around the grounds, Brentford, I believe, drew 2-2 with Bournemouth after the last-second winner there. So congratulations to them for recovering a point there. Tottenham are cooking under Ange Postecoglou. They've beaten Burnley 5-2. A hat-trick from Heung-min Son, who's had a new basic revival going down the middle from left wing. He's done really well. Captain of Tottenham Hotspur as well. And of course, Chelsea losing once again, this time at home to Nottingham Forest. Forest picking up a massive 3 points at Stamford Bridge. And for Chelsea, look, after beating Luton, I said that they've got a friendly run of fixtures. They still do have a friendly run of fixtures, but for Chelsea, they don't seem to be getting points from anywhere, man. Beating Luton, I mean, that's basically a championship club, so that's not exactly the best result in the world. They go to play Bournemouth next weekend. Then they've got Aston Villa at home. So, look, Chelsea's got a lot to turn around. When they get into October and November, that's when the fixtures really start to ramp up for Chelsea with some tough games coming up. So, if you're Chelsea Football Club, you've got to look at this and go, another poor result. A lot to change for Pochettino. I know he's had some injuries, but he's got more enough players in that squad to really turn things around. That club right now is looking like it's in a bit of a sticky situation. And Pochettino's got a lot of work to do on the training ground. I understand that he's got no European football. So he's got extra time on that training ground. He's got a lot to change, man. An awful lot to change for that manager at Chelsea Football Club. But yeah, I appreciate everyone that's tuning into the stream today. If you are new around here, make sure you subscribe on my road to 5,000 subscribers. I'll be dropping my next stream tomorrow for Arsenal versus Manchester United in the pick of the week, Super Sunday here on the channel. I also will be dropping a transfer video tier list, basically ranking every single Premier League club's transfer business this summer on the channel very shortly. For channel members as well, I will be previewing Arsenal versus Manchester United on the channel. So if you do want to become a channel member, make sure you click the first link in the description and you can follow the links there. Be sure to follow me on my socials. That's also in the description as well. And also follow YFootball on Twitch, as I will be streaming there as well as on YouTube. I'm on YFootball. I appreciate you guys all for tuning into this channel today. And I hope to catch you all in my next video. Take care.